Hello and welcome to another episode of Drive with Dudes. Today we're going to do some pre-NCT MOT or ITV checks. Our Audi A3 is due an NCT next week. If you're not familiar with the Irish NCT system, it's National Car Testing Service. Basically it's like an inspection on your car to make sure it's roadworthy for at least another year or 2 years if it's under 10 years old. And these checks that we're going to do are checks that we do. It's not a definitive list. Feel free to put it in the comments what you do before your NCT, MOT or ITV. But these are checks that you can do on your driveway too. So first things first, we like to check the fluids, the under bonnet or under hood fluids, because if the fluids are not right, your car could be rejected. This particular car has a dipstick that we can check the oil here. Some cars do not have a dipstick. Sometimes they have a digital readout. And yeah, so we'll start on the oil. So get yourself a lint-free cloth or a tissue or something you're comfortable using. There you go. So it hasn't been lifted in a while. Reinsert it. Check the level, make sure it's above minimum and below maximum. Here's your coolant expansion bottle. So again, there will be markings or should be markings on your coolant expansion bottle, which will have a minimum and maximum. Make sure that the car is cold when it's being checked and on a level. Here's your screen wash here. You can't overfill these, it'll just start pouring out, but make sure that you have enough in it so that your tester can test your windscreen wipers and your washer jets. Back here we have the brake fluid reservoir. Again, make sure it's above minimum and below maximum. It should be in your user manual if it takes DOT3 or DOT3 or DOT4 brake fluid. Topped up is required. Over here is our battery. So there's nothing really to check on the battery other than the battery itself is secure and unlikely to become dislodged in the event of a sudden stop or an accident. Next is we're going to check our wiper condition. So we put this car in the service wiper position where you can change it and lift these armatures. So when you're looking at the blade, you want to check that the blade is not torn, the blade is in good condition and suitable to clear the windscreen effectively when it's raining. That's one checked. We'll check the other. Again, make sure it's no tears and the blade is in good condition, it's soft and supple. Now, it's not necessary in the Irish NCT that your rear wiper actually works, but if it is in your country, you want to check, if you have one, that again, that the blade is in good condition, there's no rips or tears, and it can clear the rear window effectively. Next, we're going to check the washer jets to make sure they're functional, not blocked, and the wipers can clear it effectively. As you can see, one of them is not directed correctly and needs to be cleared. So we've just cleared and adjusted the wash nozzles and water jets on the driver's side of this Audi. It would have been a silly reason to fail. So let's check it now. And yeah, much better and another thing done. Next thing is make sure that your door mirrors are completely clean, free of any kind of grazing or any cracks or broken. Make sure that they still adjust and that you can see what you need to see. So no matter how slow, you want to make sure that all your windows are functional because the tester might need to reach in or reach out of your car. So now we're going to check the lights. All the better if you can get a buddy to help you out doing it. So yeah. So we want to make sure all the lights are completely functional, including the number plate or license plate lights on the back. So depending on what country you live in and the kind of test that they'll do, you want to make sure that your number plate is clean, it's free from cracks, grazing, it is perfectly legible. You have the correct country location if it applies to your test. It is in the correct format and the correct size. It's a rectangular plate where it needs to be rectangular and it's square where it needs to be square. This applies to both the front and the rear. So make sure all your doors open and close as they should. you want to make sure your boot or your trunk is clear and clean of any obstructions. So, you know, things like tissues and gloves and rags and umbrellas and non-original overmats, they're all removed for your test in case the tester needs to get to your spare wheel. Again, in case your tester needs to get to your spare wheel or where your pump and your foam is, to make sure it's there, present and in good condition, ready to be used. So you want to make sure all your seat belts are in good condition, they're visible, so you can pull on them, make sure they work. Clip them in, which means the tester can find them easily and check them. This applies to the front seat belts too. It also includes the front seat belts, but I understand you're probably going to be driving to the test center, so the NCT tester or the MOT tester will check that themselves. But here's the passenger one. Make sure it's okay, it retracts by itself and it's clipped in. Overall, make sure, you know, everybody has junk, but make sure there's nothing in the vehicle that's going to obstruct the tester from carrying out the inspection. Nothing they can touch or not want to touch or give them any reason not to enter the vehicle. And overall, make sure that the interior of the car is clean, because, you know, this is their workspace. You don't want them getting into a dirty workspace and affecting their inspection in any way. Okay, so the most important thing, or in my opinion, the most important thing that you can check are your tires. You want to make sure that they're free of cracks, grazing, cuts, bulges. There's a sufficient tread. On this one here, you can see there's a tread indicator of 1.6 millimeters. This is the minimum tread, legal limit, that you can have over here. We recommend 3 millimeter or lower that you get your tires changed anyway to prevent aquaplaning. But you want to make sure that you have at least a matching size and kind of seasoned tire on each axle. You don't want a different size on this and a different size on the opposite side. You want to make sure that they're the summer tire here, summer tire over there, so the characteristics are okay. But yeah, it's not mixing and matching tires is ideal. This particular car has 4 matching tires. So another common reason for failure is people forget to remove their wheel covers, their hubcaps, or these little center caps that cover the wheel nuts. We've made up this tool because we're missing the original one. Pull it out, that your wheel nuts are visible, and make sure that they're tight too. Just go around with your wheel brace, make sure they're tight in a crisscross pattern. I think that's the locking one. Yeah, so get your locking nut and check that one as well. And don't forget to check your tire pressure. So overall, the last thing we can recommend is that you just walk around the car. Walk around your SUV, walk around your MPV, walk around your van or whatever. Just look at it. Make sure that overall it's clean. If you were to walk up to it to test it, would you pass it? You know, you want to make sure that there's no cracks in the lenses are not obscured, the light is okay. You want to make sure there's no cracks or anything like that in your glass. You want to just make sure the car is in a decent, clean condition before your test. So we hope you found that useful. Again, not a definitive list. Let us know in the comments what you do before your checks, and most importantly, best of luck. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Driveway Dudes, and have a great day too.